What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video here. Today we are going to be doing a much requested video, not only among my channel but everywhere I look that has first gen content. I always see this question being asked and it has to do with the tailgates. So got the first gen here. I honestly haven't driven this in over a week. I've been out of town. So let's go. We're gonna move it over here. I'm gonna wash it real quick. I won't show you guys that, but it's dirty, all dusty and dirty. You can see here on the hood. So it's due for a good cleaning. So let's move it over, wash it, and then I will show you guys how to fix your first gen tailgates. So let's go do it. Shoot, it's locked. I forgot, I locked it up. Let me go grab the keys real quick. So I went to grab the keys and can't find them where they're normally at. I'm known to leave them in the ignition sometimes, but I don't see the keychain hanging down. So I think I have a spare key inside. Let me grab that and we'll inspect further where they may be in there. All right, spare key to the rescue. Hopefully the real keys are in here somewhere. So yeah, sometimes I leave them in the ignition or in the cup holder. Decent garage stickers. Not there. Oh well, we got a spare key. We'll get it moved with this. They'll turn up somewhere. Little update. I'm an idiot. Here they are in my toolbox. They've been there for a week while I've been out of town. So if anyone's looking for a sweet first gen crew cab, looks like this one's up for grabs if you catch me at the right time. So anyways, let's get this thing washed real quick. Alright guys, we are not gonna wash the truck right now. Let's just get right into showing you about how these tailgates work and how to fix them. So, got the truck backed in here. Right there. Here's my old LE tailgate. So we're gonna be doing some demonstration on this. I got my neighbor over there putting up Halloween decorations. As you guys may have noticed in a lot of my videos, they go all out for every holiday, so it's pretty sweet for the kids. All right, so let me show you. This tailgate functions exactly how it's supposed to. So probably the most common complaint I see, and common, I guess, workaround that I see people use for these tailgates is they pull the handle up, but it doesn't open and they have to reach in and pull up on that little tab on one or both sides. Okay, so to be honest with you, if that's what you have to do, you're really not in that bad a shape typically. Okay, so let's talk about that, and let me clear up a quick misconception about that. So you just saw my tailgate functions perfectly. So for those of you whose tailgate is not functioning, you probably think that when you pull up on the handle that those little clips should pop all the way up and release completely, and that's actually not true. So let me show you. So I've got my tailgate open. I'm gonna push that down, push this down. So you would assume with a fully functioning tailgate that if I pull on the handle that those latches should completely release, but go ahead and watch this. So I'll pull on the handle and you can see that they do not release. Okay, so the first step in diagnosing your tailgate is put those latches down and pull the handle and make sure that you have movement on those little clips. Okay, right here you can see. So this needs to be greased just a little bit so it pops back down. There you go. So if you've got that movement when you pull the handle, you're actually in really good shape. And we'll get back to that later on in the video. But let's pull this tailgate apart. I'll show you the mechanism, show you the 3 things that you may need to replace or adjust if your tailgate's not working. So let's pull this apart real quick. All right, so for ease of demonstration, I'm actually gonna pull this tailgate off of my truck. We're gonna put this tailgate on my truck. Actually, these tailgates are probably easiest to work on when they're on the truck. It's not easiest to work on them on a table like this in my experience. So I'll do that real quick and then we'll start tearing this one apart. All right, so we got those tailgates switched out. You can see it's a very easy process that took me all of 2 minutes. So, okay, so remember, first step, if you pull on the handle, so I get movement there. I'm getting a little bit of movement there, but not a lot, that's for sure, okay? So if I shut this tailgate, shuts, it latches, okay, that's fine and dandy. If I pull the handle, it doesn't open. So I know this tailgate because it used to be on my truck. I always had to pull up on that and then it opens up. So we can tell that this side is the issue that we need adjusting on. So let's tear apart the tailgate. I'm going to pull the handle out, pull the rods out, show you all the mechanisms, so that you guys can see how this works, and then I'll show you what you may need to replace or adjust to make it work properly. All right, before we get started tearing this tailgate apart, I want you guys to comment below if you have a first gen with a tailgate that does not function, or if you've ever owned a first gen with a tailgate that doesn't function. I'm assuming the comments are going to be loaded because this is probably the most common issue with first gens. All right, so these screws are giant and they do strip easy. So I've got my biggest screwdriver here. All right, that releases the handle mechanism right there. Over here, the latches are held on by 1/2-inch bolts, okay? So we're gonna undo both of those on each side. All right, we got those loosened up. So the latches are loosened, the handle's loosened. Now, there is a rod going from the latch over to the handle, and it is connected with these little plastic clips. So if you've ever done any work on the door or the tailgate, you're familiar with these clips, okay? So, speaking of these clips, if you pull the handle and you are not getting any movement in these little tabs, there is a high likelihood that your only issue is that one of the clips that connects to the rod is broken, okay? So I'm going to put a link in the description below of where to order these. I bought 2 packs of them. It was a couple bucks a piece, and it comes with a bunch of them. So These are good to have. Get you a couple packs of them, and they're the same thing for inside the door, so they can work for that as well. So as you tear this apart, if you find out that your clips are broken, or if while you're tearing it apart the clips break, which is highly likely, I would have some of these on hand. All right, we got it all torn apart, got the mechanism taken out, so let me show you. So here's the handle, and here is the rod from one latch, the rod from the other latch, okay? And it's connected to the rod with these little plastic clips, okay? So in some instances, your only problem is that these clips might be broken and the rod's not actually attached either to the handle or to the end of the latch. Okay, so maybe that's your issue. Check that out. Okay, I actually think I just found the issue with this one, and it's actually not what I expected, but let me show you. So here where it attaches to the latch, you can see this piece. Let me see if I can get a better angle. You know, that one's nice and clean. Now if I show you this one, this side is kind of mangled and bent a little bit. So I think that's the issue here, because it's not able to pull it far enough. So I'm going to bend that back, but replace the clips if that is the issue. I would encourage you, if you're going to go through this process, clean the latches, clean the handle mechanism, get some brake parts cleaner or degreaser, whatever it is, a wire brush, and just really clean this stuff up. And then get some lubricant. Some white lithium grease would be good, or just any type of grease, whatever you prefer, but grease up all the mechanisms. So I'm going to bend that back real quick. All the clips in here were fine. The easiest way to undo this, and I forgot to record this, was to actually pull the latch out sideways, undo that clip, take the rod off, take the latch out, then do that on this side, then remove the LE panel from the front side of the tailgate, and then you can pull the handle down so you can access these clips and undo them and pull that out, and then pull the rods out. So that was the easiest way to do it. Now another issue you may run into, sometimes these rods get bent, you know, being 25, 30 years old, always having torque put on them, they may get bent. So if that's the case, I'm going to put a link in the description below. The rods are still available. It's not cheap. I think it's around 60 bucks for a 2-pack of them. So check that out if that's the case, or maybe you can find them used somewhere. But make sure they're nice and straight and still have really good strength to them, and they don't bend when you pull the latch. So to undo these clips, you just grab the very end, a little piece of it. So pop it up, and you can see this clip is already cracking just from doing that one time. So that's why I would buy the replacement clips, whether you need them or not. So pop it up, and then the rod pops right out of there. And then we have that mechanism completely free. So I'm going to go bend this little piece back, and then we're going to reassemble it. And I'm going to show you the last adjustment piece to address if all of this checks out. Okay, so I got that piece straightened back out. This clip is broken, so you kind of pinch the end. Might be easier with some needle nose pliers. Pinch the end, push it through. There's the clip, and they're color coded. So this one matches the red one, whereas the green one may be for the other side. So make sure you match it up just perfectly. So I'm going to put that red clip back in, just like that. Then we can put the rod back in and clip it back on. Okay, so that should help quite a bit. All right, so I've made sure the rods are all straight. I've made sure all the clips are good. I found out this mechanism had a little bent piece on it, so I fixed that. We are ready to reassemble it. I didn't clean them up and re-grease it because this tailgate is going away, and my buddy's just using it for parts, so it's not I'm not going to put too much more energy into greasing it up and stuff, but definitely do that if you tear yours apart. So to put it back together, we have to undo the clips, Okay, and then we just have to reassemble it inside the tailgate. All right, it's all put back together. So at this point, we've checked to make sure all the clips are good, the rods are straight, and the integrity is good of the rods, and that the mechanism is all straight, nothing's bent, and clean everything up. So at this point, you may think, well, I'm gonna shut my tailgate and it should open right back up. Don't have that mindset yet, you might be disappointed. So there's still one more step. I'm gonna say it's about a 50-50 chance that it'll shut and open up normally at this point. So let's try it. Okay, it shuts fine. And it opened up. So I have to get a little tug to open it up, but I don't have to go in and flip that little tab, which is really nice. Now, if you get to this point, you close it and you open it up and you still have to flip that little tab, the last thing you need to adjust is the striker pin, okay? So the striker pin is where the latch locks onto when you shut it. Okay, if the striker pin's not adjusted right, it won't pull and put enough force on the latch for it to completely open up. You saw when I put these down and I pull the handle, that latch doesn't open all the way up. So that's got to be extra pressure from that striker pin to pop that open. Okay, so I'm not going to adjust these pins for this tailgate because they're currently adjusted perfectly for my other tailgate. But it's very easy to do. It's kind of this larger Torx head. I have just a set of Torx bits from Harbor Freight that I use. You just loosen it up. You can move it in, out, up, down, anywhere you want. And you just need to play with it a lot. It takes a lot of time. That's why I'm not willing to readjust it for this tailgate, because it took a long time to get it adjusted perfectly for that tailgate. So if the rods are good, the clips are all good, the mechanisms are working, it's a matter of adjusting those striker pins. So you can see these tailgates really aren't that complicated. To fix them if they're not working 100% is really not that hard. Like I said, I will put a link in the description below for the clips. Get you a couple packs of them just to have on hand. You're gonna need them for the tailgate, you're gonna need them for the door. They're plastic, so they're 30 years old. They just crack every time you open them if they haven't been replaced. I'll put a link in the description for the rods as well. And that should do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This is a long requested video from many people all over Facebook, all over the forums. So share this video if you know someone who has a tailgate that doesn't work. Let me know in the comments if you've had experience with this project and with fixing a tailgate, or if there's any other things that you've run into that were actually the issue. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the support on the channel. Like this video if you haven't yet, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe for more content, and we'll see you guys in the next video.